Hi everyone, trust you all are doing well. So we finished up with our create method and our create view. And what we're going to do in this one is we're going to create a custom request, a tag request, namely, and instead of doing the validation in the store method like what we normally would have done, so this.validate, okay, we could have done it like this, but I don't want to do this because I don't want any business logic inside my method. I wanted to hand it over to its own class, so in this case the tag request. So let's quickly create our request. All right, in order to do that is PHP artisan make request. Okay, and we're going to call this one tag request. And then we press enter. All right, so now our request has been successfully created. In order to view that request, you go to app, HTTP. You will see we have a new folder right here called requests. All right, and you will see we got our tag request right there. All right, so we're going to click on it. Right, now the first thing that you will see, determine if the user is authorized to make the request. Okay, now the thing is we're already checking if the user is permitted in our basically authorized resource, this one right here. Okay, so we can already know that the user is permitted, so we can just do this return true. The other thing that, let's say you don't want to do anything in here or whatever the case might be, you just want the user to basically to be authorized. Normally what you can do is you can do an auth check like this. You can do a ternary operator if it's true, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean. Right, so we can just do authorize true since we already have basically the checking right there. Right, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to do a couple of things in here. Right, the first thing is obviously the rules. Right, so what we want the name. Okay, I'm going to set that to an array. Okay, so you can, all right, so let's set that to an array. This will be required. I want the name to be required, and I want it to be a max of 100 characters. Right, the next field that we have on our list is the image. Okay, the image will only be sometimes available. All right, because if the user is going to update, they might not want to update the image, but just some lettering and characters and stuff. So I'm just going to put this to sometimes. Okay, and it must be an image. Okay, and the next thing is we want the description. Okay, the description, and this is going to be in there sometimes as well. Okay, and a max of 200 characters. Right, so after this, I'm just going to create a couple of methods. This will be handy when we create our job. The first one will be the name. Okay, so this must be a string. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're just going to return basically this. We can put it in two ways. We can do a get, okay, or we can do an input like this. Okay, in this case, the input name. Okay, we can do it like this. Okay, I'm inside the rules. Let me just move this out. This needs to be outside the rules. Okay, so the rules got their own little thing happening there. Right, the next one, or, so in this case, the input name or the get, just to kind of let you know where this is coming from. Okay, so you understand where that is. Right, you can either put input or get, so I'm just going to leave it as get. So the next one, public function, this one will be the image. Okay, this will be, put a question mark in front string, so this will be optional kind of thing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to return this image. All right, don't return the get image because the image doesn't have per se an input value. Okay, so don't return the get name like what I've done there. Okay, so just return it like that. The next thing is public function, and this will be the description. Okay, so this will be a string as well, and we can just return this dot get description, like this. All right. So now this will basically handle our validation. Okay. And now what we need to do is we're going to include this tag request in our controller right here. So right now we're making use of this request. Okay. But we need to bring in our own tag request like this. Okay. Just make sure we import it at the top. As you can see, it's already imported right there. Let me just move this up like this. All right. So let me just delete this policy. Okay, whatever you don't use, just remove them from your controllers and stuff. Okay. All right, so now in our store request, in our store method inside our controller, we're making use of that tag request. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is we need to create a job to handle basically our form. All right. So I'll make it on its own separate video. All right. So I'll keep it short. So we got our tag request that handles the request and the validation. All right. So as you can see, the name is required sometimes. The image is sometimes, and the description is sometimes. So that's required. All right. So just make sure you add these methods in because we're going to need them in our job in the next episode. All right. So thank you guys for watching. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any feedback, negative, positive, whatever the case may be, leave it for me in the comment section. Thank you guys, and see you in the next one. Adios.